Let's take a look at the Rapid Deployment Vehicle from Sky Commanders, released in 1987. It's taken me a while to get to Sky Commanders and start to reviewing what I have of them. For the most part, because I feel like you have to have an engineering degree to really enjoy these figures and these toys. That's not exactly a criticism of the toy. I just didn't know about them when I was a kid, and to try to sort of get comfortable with them in hand now as a collector and try to set them up and see what they were about is not easy. There's a lot of work, a lot of prep. So even though I do love the way the toy line looks, of the figures, the vehicles, I have been putting this off a little bit. But here we are. So the Sky Commanders story is that there's a new continent that's come up out of the South Pacific, and it's a very unstable continent with a lot of like natural disasters and lava and mudslides and earthquakes and blah blah blah. And the only way to traverse the continent is by way of flying over it or by traveling these laser cables. And the good guys are the Sky Commanders, the bad guys are the Raiders, and they're both fighting and exploring this new continent by way of these laser cables, because they're trying to gain control of this brand new, very powerful element, and I forget the name of it. But anyway, so Rapid Deployment here is one of the good guy vehicles, and the Sky Commander figures are about the size of mask figures, just not quite as detailed or articulated. They don't have knee bends. This guy is Commander Crane. And all the figures do have a arm piece with string attached to it and their back, so they can rappel all up and down the laser cables. Most of the vehicles came with some of these little mounting brackets slash gunner stations. This is clearly to be like hinged on a door frame or an open drawer or the side of a set of stairs. And this brings me to the beauty and kind of the annoyance of this toy line. The vehicles are all designed with clips and slots so that you can set up all manner of play scenarios, because figures and pieces of vehicles are going to be sliding up and down strings running all over your bedroom or your living room or wherever. The ship looks like something from Flash Gordon. Even the back here, this unscrews, and this is sort of a vice kind of locking mechanism to secure this in place, because again, you're going to have the tension of string coming off of it and other vehicles sliding up and down, which is a really neat idea, but man, there's a lot of tedious setup. And because how you set up this toy depends on your environment in your home, the ship could be mounted like this or just landing like this, so that the cockpit seat does have sort of like a gravity activated feature. With this button back here, the pod does eject. Yes, these could be seen as wings if this vehicle's flying around, but also if it was to land like this, there are buttons on the back here that if you press, there you go, you have like a built-in barricade. So it almost becomes sort of like a little good guy playset or base of operations. String and wheels and clips and brackets. That is a quick look at the Rapid Deployment Vehicle. With enough time and patience to set this stuff up, I would have had a ton of fun with Sky Commanders as a kid. Back over to Sky Commanders again. Let's take a look at the Battle Track Protector, released in 1987? 87, yeah. When I learned about the Sky Commanders line, this was the first item I picked up, just to see what I thought of it. So my intrigue and my continued frustration with this line began right here. Again, because if you're not familiar with it, and you didn't have some hours playing with it as a kid, it can be tedious and a little tricky to set up and enjoy. What's nice is that as I'm doing these review videos on this toy line, I'm starting to get more exposure to it, more hands-on time, and I'm getting a little bit more comfortable with setting them up and enjoying them. So that's fun. Frustration is going down and fun's going up the more time you spend with this line. This is Commander Jack Riley that comes with the Battle Track Protector. Like the other toys I have of this line, he comes with one of these brackets that's meant to wedge itself onto the back of a chair or a door or something like that. It doubles as a gunner station as well as something that you can fasten the lines onto. Here is the main piece to the vehicle, which is small, but it does have a lot going on. At the bottom you have the locking mechanism so you can secure the whole thing if you don't want to have it suspended from one of the other lines from one of the other toys. In the back we've got this heavy-duty kind of fabric ribbon that I'll show you what that's about in a second, with a gunner station underneath. On the other side you have a wheel here that's meant to wind this back up if I turn it the right way, and a cockpit for a figure to sit in. All right, now let's set this guy up to show you the main feature. Oh, and that is a quick look at the Battle Track Protector. Back over to Sky Commanders, let's take a look at the Locust Raider. On clearance for $2.90. I wish. The Locust Raider is a bad guy vehicle, and it comes with Raider Wrath. Got some stickers to put on, hope they still stick. Here's Raider Wraith right out of the package. And let's get stickers on this guy. Out of the box without studying the instructions, it's tough to tell what this thing is and what direction it's supposed to face. Kind of looks like a really, really elaborate glider or jetpack or something. I don't know. That's part of the fun of Sky Commanders, is that there's a learning curve if you're not super familiar with these toys, which I am not. Like with most of the Sky Commanders vehicles, they have multiple ways they can be set up. So this one, for starters, can be clamped like this. This is kind of cool. The guns are the locking mechanism, and this does have a firing grappling hook. You can wind back up. You can also position this thing vertically and slide the figure in like so. It's got a little window there. And you could suspend this whole thing or have it slide down a transport line, string, whatever you want to call it, with that hook. There are hooks everywhere with these things. The other thing you can do with this is fold the wings up. Now let's do it this way. And then this thing can ride along one of the larger, those thick nylon ribbons that came with some of the vehicles, like one I have hanging from my ceiling. Not my favorite Sky Commanders vehicle, but I still feel the same way about this line. If you have the time and the patience to set things up properly, it can be really, really fun. And I'm not gonna lie, I do like having Sky Commanders hanging from the ceiling in my collection. Let's take a look at another Sky Commanders vehicle and figure. This is a review of the Jackal Raider, released in 1987. The bad guys of this line were called Raiders, and this is a bad guy vehicle, but you could also tell because it is primarily purple, which all their vehicles are. Just in case it seemed like I was being a little too harsh with this toy line in my last video, I really do like these toys. I'm not good at them. I'm not good at Sky Commanders. I might have been when I was a kid and I had a more active imagination and a lot more time to set my stuff up. But as an adult trying to kind of recapture the magic of this stuff, it's tough with this line. But they really are clever, well-designed toys. So this vehicle comes with General Plague, who, actually there are two versions of this figure that come out with this toy. I think this is the redecoed one. And he does come with his standard arm grappling hook thing and elastic string that's attached to his back. And the Jackal Raider does come with one of these little gunner stations that are meant to be clamped onto door frames, and you can hook the end of the lines onto it. And these do have foot pegs in there. You can't see them, but they do secure the figures pretty stably in there. And then there's the vehicle itself, which is cool and crazy looking. Looks like a jet that's had pieces of it cracked off. Just like the rapid deployment vehicle, it does have a lot of things that are hinged depending on where you're going to set this toy up in your house. The wings turn this clamping mechanism either like that for locking onto a table, or like that, locking onto the back of a chair or something. And even this top piece that looks like it's the canopy for like a cockpit, which it is, but also flips up, and this is meant to be hooked onto like a doorknob. And that's what's kind of cool that's one of the many cool things about these toys. They are designed specifically to interact with things in your house, which, you know, the things in your house became part of your play scenarios as a kid anyway, so it kind of fits right in with what's going on in your head as a kid. And the Jackal Raider does have two big missiles. I'm missing one of them, but I think these fire pretty well. Yeah, very well. These front ends are a softer rubber, just so nobody gets hurt. And this front part is the pod that ejects and slides down the line, which I'll show you now. And that is a quick look at the Jackal Raider.